Sup Team KBA, One Tech Traveler here. In the Idol Mafia universe, we are going to talk about the Money Talks event. For me, one of the most enjoyable events in the playlist, and for those who are kind of struggling or not sure how to approach the Money Talks event to complete all 20 levels, hopefully you're going to find some useful tips in how I arrange my capos among the tower defenses and how I refresh the contracts to help you get all of the rewards in here. Now, Money Talks is also a great way to pick up the new Mystic Capos shards from the recent update, and that is the Godfather, Andrea Baronti. You need a total of 500, so organically this is a great way to build up that stack. And of course there are many other ways through the paid packs we can explore in another video. But alongside 35 shards of the Godfather, you can also complete an entire shard picking the legendary capo you want, which is great. And then also any of the capos from Japan, Italy, and Mexico to build up your gang. You can also pick up 6 mystic keys. But overall, if you complete all 20 levels, which is per 10 waves, so there's a total of 200 waves to complete within the 2 days. Now, I've been playing Idol Mafia for pretty much a month now and really enjoy the game in terms of its balance and just the variety of things that you can do in here. And with Money Talks, if you're not familiar, it's pretty much a tower defense game, just centered more around gangs like bribery, extortion, through the different waves, like types of tax collectors, with the arrangement of different buildings that you unlock through the favor that you see on top. This is going to unlock not only those buildings, but it's also how you are going to build up and upgrade those skills, the power, and the frequency that they're basically throwing stacks of cash to the tax collectors. I've pretty much hit 200 waves. Since it has kind of an exponential effect every time you refresh the contracts, then actually it's going to be pretty easy. But again, so I'm going to talk you through how. Again, if we show you here, all waves have been reached. So at the end of the event, then I'm going to receive all of these. They are broken down into milestones of 10. So you don't automatically just get 35 once you hit a certain wave. You kind of pick several shards along the way, having all of them once you reach a level 200. In terms of my talent, this is what it looks like. So level 8 friendly restart is where it maxes out. Whenever you refresh the contract, it kind of takes you to level 1. If you max that out, then it will basically bring you much closer to the current level that you refresh from. So if, for example, at level 200, it will bring me like to 190 or something. And then making a deal is just going to increase the amount of favor you receive from essentially like bribing the tax collectors. And that's going to make upgrading the capo skills, power, and speed frequency much quicker. And then the big stacks is an upgrade to essentially throw more stacks of money to the tax collector, and it's kind of like the power worth. So I basically topped out at level 40, level 38, and level 8, so you know. And this is kind of the setup I had of the capos, which kind of worked throughout the entire 200 waves, and there's just a few nuances that I changed or switched depending on the units that I came across. So down below I had Adna, the one in the middle, the girl, and her skill is increasing capo's critical chance by 43% and critical value by 280%, skill level 14. Next one up, this dude, and he's the one who just slows down the movement speed of the tax collectors. And I set him like very close to the beginning, and that kind of makes things easier for the rest of the tower defenses. And then finally I had Kaido, who is the kind of the one that makes invisible units visible for a certain period of time. So those are kind of the main 3 at the front. Next up, I kind of have more of the damage dealers. So this is the dude with the splash effect. I think it's called Yatsune or something, but he is the one that does a splash effect to a variety. And then we have my main man, who is going to deal up to 100% bribe effect to units with less than 50% health. Again, very high damage in the middle, and the splash effect, I tend to find him work well here because his range will cover that entire zone, while the slowdown movement is still able to take this corner. And then I kind of have the Capos that sort of buff them up, being this lady, 75% extra bribe effect units with more than 50% health. So the tax collectors with a lot of health is going to receive more damage effect from her. And then up here, once you unlock him, then he's the one that's going to give a higher critical chance for all towers within its attack range by, for me, 25%. So that one's gonna buff up this dude and also this one down there. Next one up, we have my air units dude. No fly zone, can't remember the name yet since I'm still early into the game, but he prioritizes air units and increases bribery effect. He's pretty much solid in the center. He's going to catch everyone as they're heading towards this helicopter, which is when you fail the wave. And then finally at the top, we have the lady that increases the cash stack for all towers by 30%, and she's going to buff up essentially this guy and this guy. So that is pretty much the arrangement. And when you get to waves that are a bit more difficult, then in essence I'm actually going to be moving them around. This dude, I tend to move him like twice. I'll put him down here for the continuous like slowdown of movement, and then I'll also switch him up here. I found increasing the first 3 tower defenses like really high is going to make passing those waves very easy. Now, of course, there are additional things that you can do to make that process faster, such as the 2x speed and increasing the favor boost by 2. So if you want to complete the 200 waves quicker, then activating those is going to really help you a lot. You do not need to buy any of the packs. They can be achieved through just playing through the game and just strategizing how you are going to spend those upgrades and where your capos are along the defenses. So don't feel you need to sign up to Mafia Club or spend 2 complete money talks. Basically, you can do it all here. Now, there are kind of 4 or 5 times I refreshed the contract. And what do I mean by the contract? Well, it's this part here. Whenever you reach a certain wave and you just find you cannot either break through or pass, then it's kind of 2 things. Either wait until you build up the favor to upgrade them, or once you've kind of hit that wall, then you actually get more contracts, and that's going to give you an X number, and you can use those to upgrade the talent that we saw earlier, which are these. That's pretty much a must if you want to complete 200, and I find myself refreshing 4 or 5 times. The first one was roughly level 26, and then level 64. After that was 100-ish, and then level 140, with the final one being level 180. So kind of every 40 waves, I was refreshing those contracts. And you can kind of see it in this final wave. Like, my first tower defense is super strong. It's just able to bribe those tax collectors. Aim for those sort of milestones that I hit for the contract refresh. You might be able to do it earlier or later or fewer, but this one I found fairly comfortable to do and have plenty of time before the event finishes. Which talents should you focus on first? So for me, I actually focused on the favor gain, making a deal in the first contract refresh, and then putting maybe 70%, 20% in the big stack, and then 10% in the friendly restart. And then the next refresh, I focused more on the big stack and then making a deal and then the friendly restart. And then things generally can get much easier, and from there eventually you'll reach it. I kind of maxed out the friendly restart on the 4th refresh, I think. So by that time, you're just gonna blitz through the waves very quickly, since you've just amped up your defense system so that's pretty much it. And once you kind of go through it, it doesn't require a lot of time. You'll hit level 200 no problem. So to summarize, here are kind of the capos I placed in each of the towers. They do slightly differ when the Money Talks event sort of rotates through the playlist, but in essence they're going to kind of provide the same sort of attributes. This one I found worked well, that you can kind of keep static and then just switch some capos depending who you come across. So that's one. The next one is just front loading a lot of the upgrades to the first 3 tower defenses, which is going to make life so much easier. Don't be afraid to refresh those contracts, which I did a total of 5 times. You will start back from the beginning, but as you increase the friendly restart, then it's going to bring you much closer to the current wave that you finish. And then finally, in more of those harder waves, then do expect that you are going to be switching capos during the wave to deal with the maximum damage. Definitely the one that slows down movement the most, I'm going to be moving around and then just front loading those that have the highest attack attributes to deal that damage before they reach the helicopter. But that's it. That is Money Talks. And yeah, hopefully you found it useful. You will start to find Idle Mafia guides on my website at onetechtraveler.com. I'll put the link down below. Thanks a lot for joining me, Team KBA. That is Idle Mafia Money Talks event. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to join the Team KBA familia. I'll see you in the next video. But until then, keep being awesome. Peace.